Well, it's good to be with Ohio Pets, the Brain Trust, and I have asked all of you never to be in the same room together, and you've honored my request.
Just
Hi,
in case.
Sandy. I'm honored to speak at your event in 2025. Thank you very much for asking. And I offered to help with marketing, and that's why we're on the call today to, first of all, find out what's called the baseline. What are you doing now that seems to be successful? Where is that falling short of where you want to be? And then if I'm any good at what I do, I'll have some suggestions on how you can bridge that gap and say increase attendance, increase engagement, um, well, really anything that you want to improve about the event. And hopefully you have that information, not just from your intuition, but from any kind of exit survey that you did. Did you do one last year?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we'll talk
yeah.
about that too, because it's a good way to get feedback. Hi, Heidi. Welcome.
I
Uh,
just FYI, I've got a person out sick, so I'm holding down the fort here at work. So if I suddenly just go out of screen, it's because someone needs me.
it could also be that they gave you whatever they have and you're suddenly sick. That could happen.
So if we did do an exit survey, Mike Brown probably has that information, Sandy,
Mhm.
or maybe Frank from Shane, if they were doing it as part of the registration finalized or final registration. But I don't remember a survey going out.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
used to
Allison.
do it, but
I can, oh,
Nice to see you
sorry.
again.
I can,
I too. I used to do it out of my company's SurveyMonkey account, but the last few years the DGEs have not wanted me to send one out. So
That answers
I
the
can
question.
tell you my
well,
experience.
sorry.
I,
I,
I
I
was
was a president last year, so I could tell you there was no survey. Sorry.
okay. I was on the Great Lakes Pets Committee for a couple, 3 years, and I can tell you that we slaved that survey, not only internally with the committee, because that was our marching orders for the following year. We were very careful about the questions we asked and that sort of thing. We just didn't pop out this generic thing. Not that you guys did. So we had internal feedback, and then if we had great feedback, great reviews, we slaved those reviews to the public and used it to sell the next event. This is what people said, like they do with movies, Bafo, best summer movie of the year, because they were writing terrific copy for us. But in most cases, that copy never sees the light of day. And by the way, we cleaned up things like punctuation and stuff. We didn't want to embarrass anybody. Sometimes we punched it up a little bit, but we just edited for continuity. So it's a really easy thing to do. It's cheap, free. The thing is timing. You have to tell everybody you're going to do it, so they expect it. And then you tell them they have to reply within a certain time frame, because the colder the event gets, the fewer responses you're going to get. And this is key. You send it out within 5 working days of the event, and then you send another request for them to fill it out in another 5 days. And you can bump up attendance, not attendance, but response by 15%.
Oh.
You probably know all this stuff.
No, I think it's a good reminder. The first question they asked, I think Allison would be the good person to answer that one. And she can tell you a little bit about what we're planning right now. If that makes
Sure.
sense. I don't think you heard that
I
question,
did not hear the
Allison.
first question, so
You did not, so
I
I'm
could
gonna
just
ask.
start talking about something, but
No. Well, so I was gonna ask Michael to repeat his question. What are you doing now? But he asked it more elaborate than I did.
Well, it was, you don't have to answer that question in a vacuum. It was kind of a two-parter, Allison, which is what are you doing now, which is the baseline. Uh, because I can't just give you advice without knowing what you've done and where you're at. And then the second thing is, where do you want to be? So the easy ones are the ones that are measurable, like attendance, very easily measured. You could measure PE attendance, presidents-elect. I'm gonna do abbreviations here for people watching the video. Presidents-elect, you could measure. Do you invite PNs to the event?
Not officially.
And that's an interesting thing too. Look, the framework for pets is so interesting. It's always been a template event. It's always been a mandatory event. If you don't attend pets, you can't be president of your club. Well, people figure this out that they could still be president, and now they've gamed the system. Now they stay away from the mandatory event, and there's nothing we can do about it. They called our bluff. So we still can't make them attend. We could never make them attend. What we must do is increase the value proposition. And that means we have to finally market this template event, which we never marketed before because you had to come to it. And we kicked the Great Lakes program into gear on marketing. We increased attendance by 15% the first year that the new committee had it. This is a couple years ago now. And then we went to work measuring things like excitement, which is not as easy to measure. So Allison, the question is, how many people attend now? How many would you like to attend? What kind of feedback are you getting that's, say, seems like an intractable problem? We heard this over and over again, duplication of content. They were getting trained in the PETS organized rooms, and they were getting trained in their district rooms. You do a similar format?
For the
No?
districts, we usually we do in person, some do online training, but
Yes.
yes, there is a lot of other training that's going
So
on.
they're the attendees, and rightfully so, they were complaining, you know, we're getting the same information all the time. 1.4 million Rotarians, 35,000 clubs, here's what we need to know about the foundation. Everything we do in Rotary is almost exactly the same. We're always talking about Rotary Act, we're always talking about the foundation, we always talk about membership. It's called the three-legged stool, right? Membership, image, and foundation. So what makes PETS, what makes Ohio PETS different than the other events, if anything?
Yeah,
So
so
this
I
is
would
the,
say, I
Allison.
would say our pets in general is not a information dump pets. It's a inspirational and discussion based pets.
Yes,
Yeah.
So they get in the plenary sessions, they're not getting here's how to do your public image program, or here's a membership plan. That's not happening from the stage in the
right.
main sessions. It's more, speakers like yourself or other Rotary International speakers, or, nonprofit private sector types of individuals that are brought in to be motivating.
Right.
And then breakout sessions traditionally have focused on a topic or a keyword, and they bring in some of those ideas of public image, but it's all discussion based with two facilitators in the room,
Yes.
and the PEs all grouped sometimes randomly and sometimes by club size. So from a repeating of information, they're not getting the same things that they might have gotten at a district membership seminar necessarily at All Ohio PETS. They're getting, I would say it's more been in the past, more motivation and connecting with other PEs or other Rotary leaders. And then before they get to PETS is when the district governors are doing Zoom calls around membership, around giving, around what else you do?
I think this is the secret formula
Public image.
for pets.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something. Now, I have a suggestion. You mentioned two words, which is motivation and discussion. And on the face of it, these seems like a pretty good sell. Who doesn't want to be motivated? Who doesn't want to discuss things and, with like-minded people? But we have to think about the end game. What do they ultimately want from being motivated? It's not a rhetorical question. It turns out some people don't actually think about this. What is the end result of being motivated? You just, whatever comes to mind, guys, gals.
Energy.
Yeah, so
planning.
you have more energy. So your district is excited. So your presidents are excited. So they're highly performing. So they can grow their clubs. I mean, this is at the top of the triangle. These are the things that everybody wants. Motivated sounds too much like we're having ice cream, but it doesn't tell you anything about the kind of ice cream, or what time we're having it, or what temperature the ice cream is going to be. You have to be very specific about what you're going to give them. In writing, it's called word substitution. In my business, the speaking business, I'm a motivational speaker for those of you that don't know, for better or worse. I mean, I teach presentation skills with a motivational flair, but I was a motivational speaker, strictly speaking, for the first 3 years of my career. And then I figured out that's a pretty crowded field. Everybody's a motivational speaker. If I was going to differentiate myself and make myself special, I had to become something else. So now, 4 words, I teach presentation skills. That's what you get from me. Do you get motivated? You bet. But I don't talk about that as much. Same thing with your PETS event. Of course you're going to get motivated. That's why you come to a big event. but specifically, how will you get motivated? And what's the end result of that motivation? Marketers talk about it like this. We're going to motivate you so you can. Keep adding those words. So you can, dot, dot, dot. And then they'll say, so you have energy. So you have, so you can focus on all the good things. And so you can handle all your challenges. So you have more time. And you just keep drilling down. And soon, the audience, the PEs, will tell you what resonates with them the most. Like you'll get a 10-to-1 response on, say, time management. And then so you double down on time management, you see.
Mhm.
Okay?
Right.
So back to the question, what else, let's talk about attendance. It's the easiest one to measure. How many people came last year?
We don't, well, we have the information. I don't know if you have yours, Heidi, for the whole event yet. Michael was gonna get me that information, Mike Brown.
I have mine, Heidi doesn't have hers, but, I had of the president-elects, I had 80% in 24, and I had 85% in, 23.
You don't know the actual number, Sandy?
I just have to I tally them up,
How many districts?
I want to say like 325 people, something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's how important it is to get to the numbers, but I guess no, Michael, like that's what I think my main goal for this role, which is brand new to this to our committee, to have a kind of a marketing communications person doing the work for this. But my main goal is to drive the attendance number up, which I'll have as soon as I get the right access to get it on
Nice.
TV, to get our metrics up. And then, I'm going to be providing consistent communication. I'm building out a communication timeline based on the pre-PETS events and then the actual event in March, working on the save the dates, kind of getting the framework of information so they can start getting it out. And then we'll start what would be, probably mostly done by email and social media, because
Sure.
that's going to see our advertisements based on it. We won't be doing a ton of, we will have your picture on flyers, we'll have things like that, but unfortunately, most of the PEs don't know who you are.
That's
The
right.
leaders
And
do.
that hurts my
But
feelings.
I know, and I feel badly saying that because, it's not that the speakers aren't great, but literally unless you're like Simone Biles or that, second place
You
shooter,
could have had
like,
Simone Biles, you got Michael Caruso. What are you gonna do?
like it's very difficult to have like a Rotary speaker be the reason why a PE registers, in my opinion. And in my role before this was always I was in charge of those 3 breakout sessions that we do in the training facilitator. So I've been in those rooms with those PEs who are just like, it's not that they don't care about Rotary International, they just don't know they care yet when they get there.
That's
Like they
right.
will by the time they leave, they'll be your fan, but
That's right.
that's not the
And
main selling tool.
To
yeah,
answer your
little,
question, we're 5 districts, Michael.
okay, thank you very much. Duly noted. I think Sandy told me that before.
Yeah.
So this
So
is
we had
a fun,
77 people there, just to
what's
put it
that?
down. Our district, 6690, had 77 people there.
Okay,
At
so we
PETS.
just need to figure that out for the other districts.
804. Mhm.
80% is actually a pretty good number, and you're never going to get to 100. So at some point, we're splitting hairs on that. But and a little framework here, Allison. I know you know your stuff because we served together on, I think it was Public Image years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you're better at it now.
Probably
All of
not.
us are learning. All of us are trying to get better. So for the uninitiated, Allison's exactly right. They don't know who I am, so you're not selling my name. What's more important than my name with regard to my keynote?
The message.
Yeah, and specifically the title of the keynote. Not just my keynote, but all of them.
Right.
And also, even more important than that, the bullet points. What are they going to get from me? What are they taking home from me? Because they can't take the title home. They take home the knowledge that I share with them. For example, if one of my bullet points is 3 ways that you can grow your club, 3 easy ways to grow your club. I mean, we would just really go to work on wordsmithing it. And then I send those bullet points to you. I'll do this for anybody that asks. I do it sometimes when they don't ask. I send, here's what I'm going to tell everybody. Then they don't share the bullet points. They think my name's going to carry the day. It does not. Same thing is true for the titled people in our great organization. Just because Stephanie Urchik is coming doesn't mean she's a draw. The president may be a draw, and Stephanie herself may be a draw, but you want to take that chance. What is the best thing about Stephanie's message that you just can't miss? you can't afford to miss this. It's going to be too good. Remember, marketing is the illusion of something that hasn't yet happened. We know as a committee, you got a nice stable of speakers. We know what it's like to be in a room full of 350 or 400 people, all singing the same song off the same page in the hymn book. That's pretty cool. But there are people that don't get this, and our job is to convince them in advance to pony up the money. And once they get signed up, I work with 100-day campaigns. I suggest you use something like that, a long campaign. Once you get 200 people signed up, you start telling everybody you have 200 people, because that's a selling point. 200 people already registered. And Allison knows already that you use social for that. Like, I don't know if you have a PETS Facebook group or Facebook page, or do you market to the district Facebook page maybe?
Yeah, that was,
Market it to each district, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did both. Well, we did something clever. We hadn't had a lot of success with a pets Facebook group. What happened was every year they were starting a new one. It was a mess. Even if you had a really good, like a kick-ass Great Lakes Facebook pets page, the person trying to find it would have to sort it out from the 5 offerings. I mean, it was crazy, and we couldn't quit the other pages because Facebook doesn't make it easy to do that. So we routed everybody to a page I had started years ago called Get the Word Out Now. Some of you may be still in it. And you're welcome to use my group too for that. Understand, you're not going to be getting to exactly your people. You're going to be getting to people all over the world. I convinced Great Lakes Rotary it was in their best interest to do this because A, we had no other way to go. We didn't have a group that was functioning. And B, this was our chance to become an exemplar in the pets world. You know, we could show everybody how to improve their game. And it happened. But we also marketed, to your point, Allison, to the district pages. And sometimes it was just a copy paste, you know, you could just move the message over. Because people belong to both groups, we even staggered when we posted it. Tuesday to this group, and then Wednesday to this group. So there's all kinds of clever ways to do this. I also favor, as long as we're talking marketing, something called iterative overlapping messaging. Iterative means it happens over and over again. But just because it happens over and over again, say in an email, doesn't mean you don't change the subject line of the email. If you got a crappy open rate, you don't want to send that same subject line. You want to tweak it. And so you're looking for what was the open rate, and almost any program shows you that now. Constant Contact, Survey Monkey, all of them. I think Club Runner even does it. Are you Club Runner or DACDB?
We're
Well,
both, I
we're
think.
both. So
You're
3 of the
both?
districts, I think, are
We had a
DACD,
mix too.
2 are club.
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
So,
Welcome to Rotary.
yep.
So iterative means over and over again. Quick message about that. I read one time that McDonald's has to advertise an Egg McMuffin to us 11.5 times before we actually buy one. Which means if you're not any better at marketing than McDonald's, you're going to have to send them that same email 11.5 times in a clinical world. I'm not suggesting you send 11.5 emails. This is an example, iterative.
Well, you
And-
have to, we also have to, because people are joining the PE lineup every month, right?
Yeah,
Every month is club, like
That's right. They're new
not
to
every
you.
club knows who their PE is right now. So it does have to repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and overlapping means they would see it like with the Egg McMuffin. You see it on the billboard, and you drive by it. Then you hear it on Spotify in your car, and oh, that sounds good. And then you're getting off for gas, and you go, "There's a McDonald's. Why am I thinking about an Egg McMuffin?" So there's 3 overlapping messages that got you to stop and do it. So I favor that, and because advertising and marketing is free right now in a digital world, I don't pay for it ever. And I don't think you should pay for it. If you're just clever and game this out, like this 100-day campaign, you can do it. How many keynotes are you having this year?
We have 4 in total,
Okay,
including our president-elect.
sure. I might have shared this one analogy with you, Sandy. Allison's no doubt heard it from me. I've been using it for years, that you market an event like a piece of sushi. I don't know if you all like sushi, but a sushi, when you put that little rice ball in your mouth, it explodes with flavor. And the reason it does is because the sushi is designed to do that. There's spice and there's salt and there's savory and there's cold. and there's crunch, and it all hits in different parts of your mouth. It's like a taste bomb. And similarly, you market your speakers, and then you market your venue, and you're marketing the food, and you market the theme. And by the way, you market your speakers separately. Don't send them all, you could send them all an array of the 4 speakers, but wouldn't you get more impressions if you could separate the speakers and push them out separately and make each of them look like celebrities? We did that. We thought that would be a big gain for us because we got such high flyer speakers. It turns out that what had better gain for us was making the DGEs celebrities. And we used Canva to make them look like movie stars. High res photographs. And if they sent us crappy photographs, we went back to them again. A fun story about a very prominent Rotarian who was a DGE for us. And he sent us the crappiest headshot I've ever seen. And so we requested a new one, and he sent us another crappy one. And I'm like, well, how long have you been in Rotary? I didn't say this to him, but I'm thinking, how long have you been in Rotary, man? Figure this out. And we think finally his wife or somebody must have helped him because he finally sent us a professional high grade version, right? And it was the same photograph. He was just sending us the low res because he didn't even know any better, or he was in a hurry, or he couldn't tell the difference, whatever. I'm just saying somebody has to maintain the quality control on your end. So if they're not sending you what you need, you ask them. Another thing, everybody has the same Rotary bio, you know, especially the higher you get. It always amuses me when district governors remind us that they were president of a club. Well, you have to be president of a club to become a district governor. That's not new information. And if you were membership chair of your club, I mean, good for you, but who hasn't served as membership chair? So we wanted to know 3 factoids about you that nobody knew. And I learned this when I watched another meeting planner do this, and she always asked for this from her. Oh, it was a TED Talk I did in Florida. She said, send us 3 things nobody knows about you. So I sent her 3. One is, I haven't had ketchup in 19 years. Another is, I don't comb my hair. It goes back to my music days, don't ask. I just put my hands through it, everything works out fine. And I forget the third. Oh, I've been to the Academy Awards. Unusual stuff, right? Guess which one is in every introduction? Because the person introducing me always weeds through it and decides what they want to use. Every time I get introduced, somebody tells the audience, I don't eat ketchup. The audience loves it. There's what's called an audible from the audience when that happens. So when you get those kind of factoids from the DGEs and then you push it out on social, they get a lot more attention and engagement than you would if you told them they were membership chair of their club 7 years ago. Oops, I let somebody in and then they disappeared.
Well, it was me. I went out and I came back in.
Oh, okay.
It just threw me right out, and I came right
Oh, I'm
back in.
sorry. Welcome back. I'm glad you figured that out. Thank you. Kimberly, what is your role with the PETS committee?
I am in charge of the service project.
Okay, very good.
But she's a DG 3.
That's another one of the pieces of the ingredients of the sushi, right? We're doing a service project. But
Absolutely.
we're not going to call it a service project. We're going to call it something else because a service project doesn't sell it, right, in the way that we want it to. How about you, Heidi? What are you involved with?
I'm overseeing the facilities and run of show.
Okay, we call it ops manager. Is that what you do?
You can call it whatever you want, Michael.
Just trying to understand. You talk to the hotel.
Dave and Leanne Perkins are going to call it run of show no matter what you call it. So,
But I just want to understand.
I mean, they're 2 different things in our world. So, but I got 2. So I got 2 hats to wear. So.
Are you dealing with the hotel?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Are you dealing with the hotel?
Not directly. That's Diana is handling that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Operations then is the schedule, perhaps?
Yeah, run a show will be the actual, literally the schedule from day 1 through day end, every minute accounted for. And that'll be worked out with our announcer and the people that run the tech, and me will run the run of show. Facilities is more like what's the cost of the food, what's the ticket price going to be, and that's coordinated with Diana because she's our hotel liaison.
Yeah. What are you saying when you say the word show? What is that little phrase?
For me, that's everything that happens in front of the public.
Yeah, but I'm not understanding what you're saying. What are the 2 or 3 words? Something show?
Run, R-U-N, run of show.
Thank you. Have never heard that phrase before. You're the
Okay.
showrunner. Thank you. Gotcha. Very important role.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sandy, you're looking after the speakers or other things as well?
I'm doing the speakers and I'm helping wherever else I am needed, so.
Okay, very good.
that's
You're all
what's
good
going on.
soldiers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other things that you want to improve about the event?
We really like the teaser, that's probably not the right word, that you did for the Great Lakes Pets. The video,
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really exciting and I had shared it with the group. Anybody want to
Great.
comment on that?
Yeah, so a couple sand traps. It's easy to create the video, super easy. The hard part is getting the views.
Mhm.
And if you're not going to bother to get the views, don't put somebody through the video. So we always decide in advance how many views are we committing to getting, because Allison can't do it herself. And certainly nobody wants to see Allison posting the same damn video ad nauseum. So it's got to go out in different ways. Again, that overlapping iterative messaging. Everybody's got a copy of it. You keep it on your computer clipboard or on your desktop for 100 days, and you just move it over to social, or ideally, Allison knows this. If you post the video natively to social, you get more views, but it's harder to do that. You have to wait for it to load and buffer and all that. It's easier to post the YouTube link, but not in the actual post because Rotary will throttle it. So the trick is to put link in comments and then you drop it in the first comment. These are little tricks that you have to do to game the system. Facebook does not want anybody to go watch YouTube, so they make it hard. Allison, do you know anything else about how to do that better? Oops, can't hear you.
I think if they're short enough, I probably would try to just do the actual video file, but
Okay.
we'll have to see.
And then, of course, the proof is in the pudding. You watch to see how many people like it. If nobody liked it, that means nobody saw it. And then you got to change your game again. But the video was part of the early excitement. We mentioned impressions earlier and the 100-day campaign. That save the date, somebody announced it earlier. That's brilliant because you could get, I actually don't know. I've been working to try to identify how many impressions do you have to have in order to have 500 people come to the event. It's tricky because different number of districts per pets. So it's different for every event. But no matter what event you're doing, the first few impressions can be what are called save the date, and they are detail free. You say nothing about the venue, nothing about the speakers, because it's like a song. You know, the intro to a song doesn't reveal the chorus usually, it's just the intro and all the background instruments. They come in later. So you kind of stage this out. So the first thing is, presidents-elect, mark your calendars. You're going to be prepared to be blown away. March such and such through such and such. You know, mark your calendars to be with us in Columbus. And that's all you say. And maybe the graphic is some attention-getting thing. And then the next round of things, you would say we're announcing pets. Again, the verbiage is very important. The next round is speakers. The next round is featuring the venue. The next round, back to the sushi again. The next round is special things that are going on with the schedule. Do you guys do themes at all?
We have in the past, we've tried to, use the Rotary thing, but we're not going to have a Rotary thing in 2025. At least that's what we've heard.
Right.
So,
That's not quite true, Sandy. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm having trouble hearing you, and it's
Okay.
my audio, not you, so I
okay, I
apologize.
was gonna say,
Not
I
Sandy.
tested my speaker, sorry.
I mean, the whole Zoom, it's my crappy nonprofit technology. So
Go ahead, you go ahead, you know, let's go for it.
So what Beth said, Stubbs said, is that there will be a theme, but it will be coming from RI and not necessarily from the RI president. So we will have a theme for our year as well as for our PEs, but it'll be more of a sustaining theme throughout from year to year that RI establishes.
Yeah, they make a lot of
So they're
money
not
on
gonna announce
merchandise.
that until February. Our International Assembly, Michael, is late in 2025. It's normally around the first or second week of January.
Right.
And ours is not gonna be until the second week of February. And they normally do not release that theme until the IA, so that the Mario, as the incoming president, will have the opportunity to present it. So we
Yeah.
won't even see that theme until a month before our pets.
Honestly, I'm not sure the theme has ever sold many registrations.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Even when we make up our own themes. So we pulled a rabbit out of a hat last year. I want to share it with you. We did karaoke for 450 people.
I love it.
And the audience lost their minds. They loved it. We have video, we have proof of concept. I don't know if they're going to do it this year. I'm not on the committee, but it was a winner. And it was Friday night, when you normally release people on their own reconnaissance to go drink or whatever they're going to do. Again, back to that informal discussion that everybody values. But we thought before they do that, we'll have some fun. We did an hour of karaoke, and of course, you ran it through the big PA. There are tricks for this, but this is another thing in that piece of sushi that you can push out. We can talk more about it if you care to, but we used it as a fish bait. You remember, you want to use bait that the fish likes to eat. And so we knew that if we could frame this in a way that people would go crazy, that it would be a draw. And the people in the audience that did karaoke right away said, I wasn't going to go to Pets, but I do a hell of a karaoke. And I'm going now, because I like to be on stage. So you try to have a message for everybody so that all the fish come over to the hook and they want a piece of that tasty food. What other things would you like to talk about today? Any struggles, anything you'd like to improve over last year?
So would you do a kind of a teaser about you being a speaker at Pets? I mean, would we use the speakers
yeah.
as speakers?
It's the same challenge though. Like I'll do a video for you, but and I always do a little side wager with whoever asks for me. I say, I ask them, how many views do you think you can get? It's usually this wild guess because nobody really knows. And I say, great, let's talk again in a couple months and see how you're doing. Because I want to plant that goal with them, just like you want to plant the goal of, if you had, whatever the numbers are, if you had 325 come last year and you want to have 375 this year, you have to tell everybody. When you're more specific about what you want, you're more likely to get it. We don't say we want more people, we want more energy, we want Rotary to be more fun. You can't measure that. But if you be specific about how you want to get that done, it's a lot more likely to happen. Yeah, so you're officially asking me, I'm officially asking you, how many views do you think you can get?
I have no clue.
Yeah. Let's try for a couple hundred.
So what's a normal, like 500, 1,000? What's, for Rotary?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a trick question actually, because YouTube will count the views, but if you're uploading it natively to Facebook, you just never know how many people will watch it.
Right.
Yeah, like we'll be able to count each district's page individually.
That's
if we share
crazy.
it there, but it's going to be, and then if
But the first step you must admit is just we're committing to getting this thing seen, not just because I'm bothering to do it for you, but because it's the best for the event. The people that do see it say, well, that's a good piece. So we want to get more people to see it somehow and get them signed up. Another thing that works really well is Ego, is tagging. Like you can get a list of the club presidents, and you got to get the club presidents to sign on to the communication format. Well, they do. Like you can't even get them to sign into the email format, as Allison was saying, because some of the clubs don't know who their presidents-elect are yet. And some won't know until the week before when they're just trying to find anybody who can fog a mirror to show up to this thing. So when you're posting to social, you would tag people, and you'll find that certain PEs are like your role model PEs. They're coming in fully loaded. They understand marketing, they understand energy, they're upwardly mobile already. They almost self-identify. And you tag them just to get some sort of engagement, because when you get some sort of engagement, the algorithm opens up and more people will see the video or whatever it is that you're posting. Engagement, engagement, engagement.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Is this helpful?
It has been, yes, thank you.
Okay, we're not done yet, but I'm still taking requests. The request line is open.
I gotta jump off to get to a high school open house here tonight, so I
Okay,
apologize.
nice to
but
see you.
Yes, you too, and I'll be
Thanks,
in touch
Allison.
for sure.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you guys on Saturday for sure. Bye.
Bye.
Anything else that you struggle with or that could be better or you get feedback on? Anything that you've silently wondered about how to do better and didn't know how? Do you have high-res photographs of the venue?
I don't know.
Sounds like a silly thing to show, the hotel lobby, but people want to know they're going to be treated well. And it turns out most people don't, they're not in four-star hotels by themselves. If they're with the fam, they're at courtyards or someplace small, camping. And if you're in a major downtown facility, you should be able to find by searching, and again, only high-res photographs, find them, dump them into a folder called asset folder, marketing assets. That's where all your videos go, all the headshots of your VIPs, the venue. You can also get photographs of shiny, happy people and drop them in. You can pay for them or you can find them online, because those are the kind of people that you want to come to the event. I take a hit on this sometimes because if you take a photograph of an average Rotary crowd, and you've seen this, somebody will be very proud of how many people have shown, and they go back in their chair and then they do a photograph of the room, and it looks like hell because everybody's sitting down, all these people of action sitting on their butts, and nobody's smiling, and a lot of people are eating and stuff. It's hard to get that photo from Rotary. And the other thing is, we're looking for younger presidents. And if you do photographs of old people all the time, the younger people are just going to go, nope, not for me. Marketing is the illusion of something that hasn't yet happened. Everybody knows it's a generic photograph. You don't have to say, these people are not actually Rotarians. You're just showing people having a good time. And we could talk later on a bar stool about because everybody's got a temperature for this, how willing you are to do it, but I'm very willing to do it. Also, there are beautiful people in your pets area.
Yeah.
You could get photos of them, and and of course we're an equal opportunity organization, DEI and all that. So, if you want to feature people that are handicapped or come from different lifestyles, you should do that. But we want high-res photographs of people that get attention because that's what's going to sell registrations. And if you think I'm wrong, take a look at TV, because all the people on TV have all their teeth and they're straight and they look well adjusted most of the time because they want you to gravitate toward that product or service. This is how marketing works.
Hey,
What else? Sandy, I
there's
owe
lots to
you.
think about. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad we could do it. We can jump on again sometime if you want to. I owe you the agreement still. I'm sorry I've lapsed on that. I know it's on my to-do list here. We're good. I'm going to send it to you.
Great.
I'll get to work on the video too. And if I have some questions, I'll just text you. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
I made a couple of notes of things I wanted to talk to you about, but I covered most of them.
I think we are
Allison's the key, I think, with
kind of
marketing.
amp up our website that we have for the registration, so it's a little bit more exciting. It has a-
I'm sorry, I missed the first part about the
we're
website.
going to be amping up the website.
Okay, good.
Allison's gonna work on that.
That's another interesting thing is how many people actually visit the website. You can find out the metrics, but you have to dig for them and then figure out, well, what does that number mean? Is that better than last year? Is it where we should be in the campaign? How do we really know? I guess it always comes back to registration.
Yeah.
And you need the champion in every district to do this. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but sometimes it's not the district governor-elect. Sometimes there's a bottleneck on that person's desk.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're in over their head. Sometimes they've got health stuff or family stuff. It happens. And we need to be straight up about that. If that's not the person that's going to get things done, they need to abdicate to somebody, a second. Or sometimes it's the same person every year that does a really good job in their district with getting the word out. And you need to deputize those people. They may not even be attending PETS, but they'll help you. I, for my part, plan to give you the best keynote you have next year. And I'm going to be looking at the survey to find out if I did.
We'll put it down. We'll make sure we do it.
Okay, thank you.
And are you gonna send us the questions that you like? That you worked on?
Oh, the factoids? Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
the bottom of my bio. I'll send it along if I haven't
No,
yet.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I mean, the questions on the post survey that you used at Great Lakes.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a note here to send you a copy of our survey,
Okay, that'd be great.
and you can lift whatever you want from it.
Okay,
And I think
perfect.
we did the survey we did it either through DACDB or Club Runner.
Mhm.
But again, it doesn't matter. You can just customize the questions in whatever survey you do.
Okay,
And by the way, the feedback on the survey is not the best feedback. The best feedback comes from conversation, because in the survey you see strange things like they'll say, you gave them ideas that would improve their whole year and help them become the best president of their club in recent history. And the survey says, when you ask them what they thought, it says too much chicken. Not helpful, you know? So I find it useful, and it's an old Flintstone trick. Even for my own talks, I stand in the back door as they're leaving. They have to talk to me on the way out. And some people will say, good job. And well, everybody says good job. Nobody ever says you could have done better. But when they stop, I say, what did you like? Thank you very much. What did you like best? And if they're really into the feedback thing, I say, what was my weakest moment? What do you think didn't land? This is how you really learn.
Mhm.
And we are reluctant to have this conversation in Rotary. That's why we don't know when people leave the club.
Yeah.
And after they're gone, it's too late. They won't tell us. We get official statements like, well, I wanted to spend more time with my family, which may be true, but we didn't have that direct dialogue that said, the club's not really as fun as I thought it would be, or you got a micromanager that gets under my skin. You almost never hear stuff like that. We need to hear that stuff. And the PETS committee needs to hear that about your event. I hope you don't mind when I speak the truth. Sometimes people don't like to hear it. Oh, he's so mean.
Oh,
Ladies, thank you so much.
thank you so much,
If you have
Michael.
any other questions, I'm happy to answer, but if you're good, I'm good.
I'm good. Everybody good?
Good.
Thank you for being with me. The recording will be posted to the Get the Word Out Now group. I'll say great things about Ohio PETS, that we're working together, and that we're answering and problem solving some of the things that all big events struggle with, which is engagement and how are we efficiently helping our Rotarians be the best they can be. And I took your names down too. I'll tag you in the walking the walk, right? When I post the video to the Facebook group, I'll tag you guys. You have to be in the group, I think, to get tagged. Get the Word Out Now is the group. And then you have a chance to comment, and that's engagement. That opens up the algorithm. Now people that aren't even in your area, you're part of the Rotary world, see it, and they go, wow, we need to do that too. And the flywheel starts to spin. This is a beautiful thing. So thanks for all you do for the greatest service organization in the world.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Thank
Thank you so
for all
much.
the
My pleasure.
information.
All right, have a good evening.
Look forward to
Bye-bye.
working with you.